This is Crick Buzz at Stumps, Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. It was a day in the dirt for the Australians. India pummeled them. Slow scoring. It was attritional, as we said yesterday, but it was precisely what India needed to do to make it very hard for Australia to now get back into this test match.
Yes, India pummeled them, but they pummeled them in, like they show the slow motion replays, they pummeled them slowly. It's almost yeah, they pummeled them slowly. I think the thinking with India was if you bat long enough on this track, with the sun baking down on it 36-37 today. The forecast has now changed for day 3 from 26-27 up to 33 again. So maybe the track will start going up and down. Let's just bat long enough for the track to start misbehaving, and then let's see how it goes from there. Because batting wasn't easy. We're chatting with Pujara as well. He said batting wasn't easy at all. So there's a feeling it's going to start getting a little up and down. The question is when and at what pace.
So India actually will have the pressure on them to take wickets tomorrow with a little bit of weather around, and they didn't make a truckload of runs. To put it in some perspective, when England made their massive score last year, when they'd faced 144 overs, India, they made 150 fewer runs than England had last year. So there is the onus now, the pressure shifting onto that highly vaunted India pace attack.
Well, for a start, they've got to ensure that Australia rather don't get in and make 450 themselves. Because if Australia make 450, then only one team can lose this game. But I still think on this track, given the strength of Australia's batting or the relative lack of it, 443 is the total now you cannot lose with. Now it's up to the bowlers if they bowl straight. We already saw a couple of balls that could have gone either way, maybe a wicket here and there. So I think India pretty safe from the point of view of not losing this. Now the question is, can they win it? We'll see. I think it depends on the track. I think India are banking on that.
There are about 10 minutes for Australia. We're right back in the day, seemingly, today after having to bowl a whole first session at Pujara and Kohli. They picked up both men in the space of a few overs, but they couldn't capitalise. Rohit Sharma, a contentious pick at the best of times in his Indian Test 11 alongside Ajinkya Rahane. They put on vital runs there. Rohit was dropped along the way, but he did show that he was picked about at number 6 and pushed the game along. He was able to do that.
He did, 63 not out. I think he'll send a little thank you note to Peter Siddle. Just as Rishabh Pant might send a thank you note to Pat Cummins. I mean, with Australia, they might go through a bad phase with their bowling, they might go through a bad phase with their batting, but Aussies don't drop catches. But what did we see in England this year? England dropped catches, India dropped catches, and I think Australia saying end of the year, let's just go along with everybody else. But Rohit Sharma did once he was dropped, yes, he did what he was supposed to do, 63 not out. But I think Australia will be a bit concerned with the 2 wickets that they got. The wicket of Pujara and the wicket of Rahane. Both with balls that kept very low. You could turn around and say, only 2 balls kept low or 3 balls kept low out of so many. But if you bowl straight enough, you never know which one's going to keep low. So I still think Australia will be a little worried.
Pat Cummins was the man sitting there with his pads on as well. He had the one shooting through low.
I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that Australia could be as cruel and as heartless to a bowler who, in that heat, bowled 34 overs. He was the only one really banging every ball down into the turf. Then, I mean, who goes up to him? I'm just imagining someone's going up to Pat Cummins and saying, Pat Cummins, your night watchman, can you look him in the eye and say that? Shouldn't the batsman be saying, guys, you've done a really tough job. You've had to run in over 100 and millions of overs. Put your feet up. It's our half of the game now. Let's bat. And then they said, Pat Cummins, because the batsmen are tired? No, that was heartless and cruel, and I thought it was a cop-out from the batsman. Thank God it didn't happen.
The big question really, Harsha, tomorrow is India's fast bowlers have been magnificent in conditions which have suited them, both in South Africa and in England, and really in Adelaide and Perth as well, for that matter. How will they go on a track which is getting absolutely zero movement, apart from the occasional one that goes underground?
Just bowl straight, I think. Just bowl straight, nib it around a little bit, much like they did in Adelaide. Adelaide, I thought, was when they bowled really well. Bumrah, Ishan, just bowling straight, one in, one out. They'll also be hoping, if they're bowling from over the wicket a little bit, that there'll be a rough developing for Jadeja. It's a tiny one at the moment, but you never know how it'll go. One ball misbehaves. So I think India have just got to bowl with a lot of discipline and a lot of patience, much like they did in Adelaide.
Tomorrow it's a big day. If they can bowl out Australia, they'll be well on their way to retaining the trophy. We'll tell you all about it afterwards. Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle, Crick Buzz at Stumps.